Howdy folks, Max Caveman here, bringing you to a recap for another set case break. Today is the Paldea Evolved case break. All in all, my opinion on this opening was that of disappointment, actually. You might see why, but in total, I feel like I missed out on some cards that I was definitely after, and some of the playsets of these EXs are a bit low for what I thought I should be getting. I have double checked with the Scarlet and Violet base set ratios for EXs. Well, how many EXs they had, sorry, and it is more. We have 5 more EXs in total than Scarlet and Violet base, if I counted everything correctly. So there are more, and it's made it so that there are less of each EX because you need to accommodate for the more EXs. So I think the number of total EXs is a bit high, but that's what they decided to do, so that is what we are dealing with now. So I have broken this down into the different rarities, going with the double rares, or the EX Pokemon, as most people will most likely refer to them as, then going on to the ultra rares or the full arts, then on to the illustration, special illustration, and finishing off with the hyper rares, which I'm a bit disappointed with the hyper rares, but probably for not the reason you think of. Okay, so note that this is just the case, not including any of the build and battle openings that I've done, the Elite Trainer box, packs that I've gotten from events or something like that. This is just the case break. So starting off with, and this is in set order for each of the EXs, and well, for all the different rarities and stuff. So starting off with the double rare EXs, we have the Fortress. I only got one. This is one of the cards that I did want a few copies of, so that's a bit disappointing. We got 2 Meowscarada EXs, probably a bit lackluster card. I don't know. Could see play, could not. I'm not too fussed that I only got 2 of these. Now, a big card that I was searching for more of was the Wo-Chien, and I only got 1 copy of it. Very disappointed. I was planning on building Wo-Chien Fortress, and I guess I would need at least 1 more of Wo-Chien and Fortress at minimum to build that, so it's a bit disappointing, but that's what happens. Moving on to the fire types, we have Skeledirge EX, and I actually got 3 copies of this. Now this was insane in my opinion, thinking, oh, should I play this? And I feel like this case in particular said, yes, you should play it. So 3 of those. And then I got 2 Chi-Yu, probably a decent number. I feel like it's best to get playsets of all the EXs or Vs or whatever it is at the time. So 2 of these, probably the right amount that you would be needing. And then yeah, it's a little bit lackluster, but as a Pokemon, but I think it still could be quite useful, and I will try my best to make it work. Moving on to the water types, this is where most people would be wanting their Pokemon from. So we end up with 2 Quaquaval EXs. At the moment, I have no plans to make anything with it. Maybe in the future, but currently not really too fussed. May even trade these away for something that I do need, but good to see that. Now I only got 1 Xian Pao in this case. This is a big thing, because Xian Pao with Baxcalibur is going to be the big meta deck from this set. I know a lot of people are already putting feelers out to try and get this card, so only getting one is a little bit disappointing, but considering this is just the case, it's disappointing, but I've pulled 2 more copies of this version of Xian Pao in other openings, so it's not a total waste, but I can still build it, just not with what I got from one case. So next up, we go on to the Lightnings. We have a Pikachu, a one-of Pikachu. That is it. And a one-of Bellibolt. And I didn't get this Bellibolt until very late in the opening, thinking that I'd already had all the EXs. Turns out I didn't. So that's just it. One of each of these lightning Pokemon, so a bit disappointing. Next we're moving on to Psychic, and both of these are 2 Terra Pokemon. We have a Terra Slowking and Dedenne EX. Got 2 of each. These is probably the best thing that I would want personally, is just 2 of each for the moment, and then try and build up on them later. Fairly decent, considering that I got... I didn't realize at the time that there were 17 different EXs, but that's good. Moving on to fighting types, and this is a bit skewed, and you'll see in a sec. We got 1 Lycanroc EX. That was it. Probably a card that I could see getting used, but I think I have a way to build it, but needed a few more copies, I guess. But I did get 3 copies of Ting Lu. That was insane, seeing that. I think the Ting Lu and Skeledirge were the only things I got 3 copies of in this case. So, could have been better if one of these had been an extra Lycanroc or a Bellibolt or Pikachu. I would have been more happy getting more consistently consistent levels across the board. But it's what it is. Moving on to the 1 Dark. Literally 1 Clodsire EX. That was it. Had big plans for this. Well, potential plans. We'll have to wait until I get a few more copies of that. Now, moving on to the Steel type, we have 2 copies of Copperaja EX. I think I made it clear during my openings that I think Steel types are lackluster. They need something else. And with I've had a look at the 151, whatever that may be for English, and this could see a bit of play, because we basically have a version of a attachment from discard, but I'd have to double check all the cards and see if there's anything missing, but probably not. It's probably just going to sit in my folder for a while. Moving on, we have 2 Noivern. Rather interesting card. Could be better, could be worse, but 2 decent enough to just start if I want anything. And then 2 Squawkabilly EX. Now this is originally one of the cards that I thought I would need like 8 copies of. It is a bit weaker than I thought, but 2 copies, probably not a good starting point. 4 copies, that would be better. It's most likely going to be a 1 or a 2 of in decks that I do use it in, and so needing a few more copies just to diversify decks and stuff, because I don't change cards specifically for events. I build a deck and that's the deck. But maybe I do need a change on that, but that's it for the double rare EXs. Moving on to the ultra rare. Now, let me just double check I got that right, because I've been referring to it. Yes, so these are the ultra rares. So it's going Pokemon into supporters. So starting off with, we do get a Meowscarada. I believe these are mostly all one-ofs until I will say otherwise. So I've got one Meowscarada EX, a Wo-Chien. Now I do want another Wo-Chien, but I prefer to play at low rarity rather than high rarity. Just because down the line, some of these high rarity cards can be worth a bit of money. It's my personal preference, that's all. We've got a Quaquaval EX, a Bellibolt. I did get another Bellibolt at least. We've got a Slowking, a Copperaja, and a Squawkabilly for all of the Pokemon. So, fairly decent pulls based on just the Pokemon alone. Moving on to the supporters. When you get a Boss's Orders, fantastic. Probably not the artwork I wanted for Boss's Orders, but still great nonetheless. We got a Faulkner. Absolutely brilliant seeing that. And we got 2 copies of Giacomo. I'm pretty sure I've been butchering that name, saying it wrong the entire time, but got 2 copies. Bit disappointing. It's not a card that I personally like. It will most likely see some play, just because special energies are quite prevalent. We did get 1 copy of Grusha, and then 2 copies of Iono. Definitely the wrong artwork that I would have preferred the special illustration Iono at 2, but 2 Iono, it's going to be a really good card, but it is what it is. So, moving on to the so I'm going to go from illustration into special illustration here. So we start off with, I do believe every single one of these is a one-off. Yes, all these cards are one-offs. So I've got a one-off Heracross, Fletchinder, Pyro, Marill, Quaxwell, and this is the best bit. I got a Frigivax, Arctobax, and Baxcalibur, all in this case. This was my personal goal, was to get all 3 of these. I did want 2 copies of each of these, for 2 copies of each, 1 for each of 2 collections I've got going on. I've got a Raichu, got a Mismagius, Rabsca, then we've got a Tinkertink and Tinkertuff, going into a Sudowoodo, a Wooper Hiding in the Mud, Flamigo, and a Dunsparce. That's it for the illustrations. Now moving on to the special illustrations, and this is where things started to annoy me quite a bit, because there's not many special illustration cards, but I did want all of them, and I didn't get many. In fact, not enough. So I got 5 special illustration cards in total. I got the Meowscarada EX, a Skeledirge EX, Chiyu, Squawkabilly, and a Dendra. Now, I was under the impression that you should be getting at minimum 1 special illustration rare in a box, and then the second illustration rare is either a special illustration or a hyper rare, the gold cards. And sadly, only for some reason one of the boxes didn't have a special illustration rare. But here we have the hyper rares, and this is where I get a little bit annoyed, especially since what I just said about the illustrations and hyper rares. So I got 6 hyper rares in total for my case break. I got a Meowscarada, Skeledirge, a Quaquaval, Xianpao, Tinglu, and a Grass Energy. I got so lucky on hyper rare pulls, but that was just insane. It actually got to the point now where I only need 1 more hyper rare to finish the set off. due to various other openings and stuff. The only other hyper rare I need is the Super Rod, which, knowing my luck, when I open up the next lot of Paldea Evolved that I opens, I will probably get it instead of a special illustration rare that I am looking for. But that has been my pulls for Paldea Evolved. Oh boy, is this a big set. Probably too big, in all honesty. There are too many cards, well, Pokemon, that are just not needed. Because like, if I look through this book and just have a look at it, some of them are just there for their evolutions. Or like having two of like a stage 1 and then stuff like that for just the one evolution. Maybe not needed. You probably didn't need to do certain cards just because they had already gotten a previous stage in the last set and would have been better giving it to another Pokemon, or just simply not doing as much. And that being said, there were still a couple of cards cut. Not enough, but there were still some cut from the set. But definitely going to have to get my eye out, get another box or so, and start hunting in my other series, Chase Hunter and Not for Trade. So that's it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed learning what I got for my case. I hope you enjoyed the case itself. It was a bit of an experience opening it up. It's taken me nearly a full day recording the videos and getting them ready to go online. But that is it for Paldea Evolved. Oh boy. Now, I know that we are getting Obsidian Flame in August. It should be August 11th that I will be getting my product for that set. And we will be getting another set shortly after. I am unsure as to how to do that set, because that set will be a special set such as like Crown Zenith and stuff. So I will start planning out ordering for the upcoming sets. So hopefully you will join me for those as well. But do check out Chase Hunter or Not for Trade if you do want more TCG openings. In the meantime, they're just my ways of keeping you with content. But that being said, I hope you enjoyed yourself. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully you got some good pulls, and I'll see you all next time. See ya.